let's make bread. Sourdough bread, you know? Okay, yeah. What sourdough bread is essentially you have a starter. And a starter is a mix of flour and water that you add more flour and water to every day. This starter acts as a natural yeast. It gathers yeast from the air, and then you're able to make bread with just flour and water, just in different forms. To make a loaf of bread, which is what I'm doing now, I'm going to measure out 450 grams of flour. I'm also adding 2 teaspoons of salt. 1, 2. Sage! Anyways, to this mixture, we're going to add 340 grams of water. I accidentally added 350. You know, life moves on. And then I'm also, oh my gosh, gonna add 120 grams of starter. Sage! Stop it! Stop it now! Now we just mix this all together thoroughly. Should look a little something like this. No lumps of flour in there or anything. You want to do this the night before you want your bread, because this now needs to rest with just a damp towel over it for 18 hours. Also, whenever you make bread, you need to feed your starter. Sometimes I feed mine every other day, and it's fine, but you should try and go for feeding your starter every single day. If you don't make bread, just dump out the amount of starter that you would use if you had made bread on that day. People sometimes say to leave only 100 grams of your starter if there are 450 grams in there. Honestly, I just dump out however much I use that day and then leave the rest in there. Now I'm gonna add equal parts flour to water, and I use 2 types of flours. I use unbleached flour, and I also use whole wheat. So 1/4 cup of each flour, and then a 1/2 cup of our water. And then I'm just gonna stir this thoroughly. So that's my daily feeding process. To start up a starter, just add equal parts of flour and water in a jar. And then every single day for about 10 days, that's how long it takes to get ready, just dump some out and add another portion of equal parts flour and water. Just make sure that you don't fill your jar up completely when you do this, because your starter needs room to rise and fall. Why? Say. Anyways, so I'm gonna put this in the corner, and yeah, I'll see you in 18 hours. Think that people will like this?
Your jump on that side is much better than your jump.
This
Like this side is much higher.
Are you sure it's not just because I did it first? I think it's easy. This has been sitting for 18 hours. It has risen. What we gotta do is we gotta knead it really quick. Ew, I'm out of breath because of that jumping I did. Now I'm gonna flour my surface. If you're gonna be here, do you at least want to assist me?
No. Gotta go back to work.
Okay, well, so here we have it. We're gonna do a technique called dimpling, which is where you just press the bread like this and then fold it into thirds. Do it again, but this way, dimple, and then fold it into thirds. I'm gonna make a little ball, and then I'm gonna grease this here bowl and let it rest for an hour and a half. My bowl has been washed. Ew, just kidding. My bowl has been washed. Beautiful stuff. Alexa, set a timer for an hour and a half.
1 hour and 30 minutes, starting now.
Good. And then cover this. All right, see you guys in 90 minutes. Oh my God, Papa.
No, you get
Stop giving me Colbert advice. I'm not trying to be a professional.
No.
I'm
You
just
can
trying
learn
to people
from
love me.
You can learn from one.
I don't want to watch Colbert.
Yeah, no, I know, but you're watching it for the jokes.
Yeah, I don't want to
Watching
watch
it for-
Colbert for. Oh my God, you're a crazy man, Papa, to be honest. Dang it! It's been an hour and a half. Now we're gonna turn the oven on to 450 degrees. We're gonna put our Dutch oven in because we're making this bread in a Dutch oven. This is my Dutch oven. You were on it. I don't have a tripod, which is why my videos are filmed from such weird angles. Oh God, I hate having an Android so much. POV, you're the oven. Anyways, and then we, 450 degrees. And then we wait for 30 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Starting now.
Okay, gang, it has been 30 minutes. Our hot Dutch oven is in the oven and it's hot. And now we need to take it out and put our bread inside. There are a couple things. Okay, so first we take out this guy. You want to be speedy because stuff is hot and you don't want it to get cold. I'm gonna lay down some parchment paper. You don't have to do this. My Dutch oven is old, so it's important to lay that down. Okay, thanks, Mama. Then I'm gonna dump in my dough. Then I sprinkle the top with flour. Gorgeous stuff. And then I make 3 snips across the top. Put the lid back on and put it back in the oven. Oh, gang. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Starting now.
See you then. Now it's been 30 minutes. And so we have to take the, why are you moving that way? No, stop. Take the top off of the Dutch oven. Come in here. Pan. Now we gotta let this without the top of the Dutch oven for 5 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Lumi.
Starting now.
Lumi, cut. Okay, gang. And now we have to take the bread out of the, is it started? Now I have to take the bread out of the Dutch oven completely and just let it sit on that shelf for about 3 minutes. There it is. Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes. Home stretch. Now we take the bread out of the oven. Stuff. And we have to wait a few minutes for it to cool down, and then I'll cut into it in front of you all. Now I'm gonna cut the bread after it's been resting for a while. You wanna get in here? Hear the noises? Okay. At the end of the video, like right before it was about to get good, I just wanted to pop in and break down the cooking times for you. I'm editing, if you can't tell, and I realized it's very chaotic. You need it, you wait an hour and a half. Once the hour and a half goes by, you're going to put your Dutch oven in the oven and preheat that for 30 minutes. Then you're going to put your bread in the Dutch oven with the lid on. You're going to bake it for 30 minutes. Then you're going to take the lid off, bake it for 5 minutes, and then take the entire bread out of the Dutch oven and place it just on the rack in the oven and bake it for 3 minutes. And then you're done. And you should let it rest for a few minutes before you break it open and enjoy it, although that's pretty tantalizing, so I don't blame you if you do not. Anyways, brief hiatus, back to the video. The door just popped open. Ooh.
Divine.
Thanks for watching the vid.
Salt?
No, I didn't.